What's up, Tricky Trees? Welcome back to the channel where the magic of the city ground comes alive in every single word, where legends are born and dreams become reality. I'm telling you right now, the last 24 hours have been absolutely mental for our beloved Nottingham Forest. And if you're not sitting down, you better find a chair, because what I'm about to reveal will blow your mind completely and change everything you thought you knew about this incredible football club. Something extraordinary is happening at the city ground. Something that hasn't been seen in decades. And I'm not just talking about the Europa League campaign that's about to kick off. Oh no, we're witnessing the birth of a new Forest dynasty, a resurrection of a sleeping giant, the awakening of something truly magnificent that has been dormant for far too long. Picture this: French superstars arriving in the dead of night with private jets tracked across European skies, Brazilian midfield maestros plotting their escape from Italian giants while dreaming of Premier League glory, academy graduates being compared to Arsenal legends in ways that will make your spine tingle, and a Portuguese manager who's just orchestrated the most beautiful tactical masterpiece we've seen in years, maybe decades. But here's the thing that's got me absolutely buzzing like a kid on Christmas morning. There's drama that would make Hollywood jealous. There's heartbreak that brings tears to grown men's eyes. There's triumph that echoes through the corridors of the city ground. And there's one revelation about a certain Ivory Coast international that will make you question everything you thought you knew about this squad and force you to rewrite the history books. Are you ready to witness the resurrection of a footballing giant that once conquered Europe under the genius of Brian Clough? Because what happened this weekend wasn't just a football match. It wasn't just 3 points in a bag. It was a statement to the entire Premier League, to Europe, to the world, that the Tricky Trees are back with a vengeance, and they're not just here to make up the numbers. But before I spill the beans on the most incredible 48 hours in recent Forest history, and before I take you on this emotional roller coaster that will leave you breathless, do me a massive favor that could change everything. If you bleed red like I do, if the city ground is your second home, if Brian Clough's spirit runs through your veins, like the River Trent runs through our beautiful city, then smash that subscribe button right now. Show the world that you're part of the greatest fan base in football. Prove that loyalty isn't just a word, but a way of life. Because what you're about to hear next will prove exactly why Nottingham Forest is destined for greatness, why this club belongs among Europe's elite, and why the revolution starts now. Right then, let me paint you a picture that's going to send shivers down your spine and make you believe in magic all over again. It's Saturday morning, the sun's barely up over our magnificent city of Nottingham, the River Trent is flowing peacefully, and while most of you are having your morning cuppa and reading the sports pages, something absolutely extraordinary was happening behind the scenes at the city ground that would change the course of our season forever. The phones were ringing off the hook with calls from agents across Europe, private jets were being tracked by aviation enthusiasts as they crossed international borders. Flight trackers were going mental on social media, and Evangelos Marinakis, our Greek god of our owner, was about to pull off one of the most audacious transfer coups in Forest's modern history, something that would send shockwaves through the footballing world. Are you ready for this revelation that's going to blow your mind? Because Arnaud Kalimuendo, yes, you heard that right, the French sensation who terrorized League One defenses last season with 18 goals that left defenders wondering what just happened, the man who was supposed to join Premier League giants with unlimited budgets, the striker who had Brentford and Newcastle fighting over his signature like school children fighting over the last sweet in the jar, he's chosen US. The Tricky Trees have done it again, pulled off the impossible, turned fantasy into reality out of absolutely nowhere like a thunderbolt on a clear summer day. Forest agreed a mind-blowing £27 million deal with Rennes for this absolute magician, this French wizard who moves with the grace of a ballet dancer but strikes with the power of a heavyweight boxer. Can you believe it? While other clubs were still trying to arrange meetings with agents, while bureaucrats were shuffling papers and playing their usual transfer window games, Marinakis went straight for the jugular, cut through the nonsense, and got it done with the efficiency of a Swiss watch. This isn't just a signing, this is a declaration of war against mediocrity, a statement of intent that echoes through every corner of European football and announces to the world that Nottingham Forest means business. But here's what's got me absolutely buzzing about this deal. What's keeping me awake at night with excitement? Kalimuendo isn't just another striker who can put the ball in the net. We're talking about a player who can operate anywhere across the front line with the versatility of a Swiss Army. Knife, a genuine game changer who combines the pace of Thierry Henry with the football intelligence of Karim Benzema and the work ethic of Jamie Vardy. His former manager at Rennes, Habib Bey, a man who's worked with some of France's finest talents, described his ability to evade pressure as otherworldly and said his first touch is so good it makes experienced defenders look like school children taking their first football lesson. Think about this for a second. Let it sink in properly. Last season alone, this lad was tearing apart teams that had world-class defenders, international stars who've played in World Cups and European Championships. We're talking about a striker who doesn't just score goals for fun. He creates them out of thin air. He transforms the entire dynamic of how a team attacks. He makes everyone around him better just by being on the same pitch. And now, instead of wearing the colors of some oil-rich club or traditional Big Six powerhouse with their fancy training grounds and unlimited budgets, he's chosen to wear the Garibaldi red of Nottingham Forest. He's chosen to be part of our incredible journey. Can you imagine the scenes when he makes his debut at the City Ground? Can you picture 30,000 voices singing his name as he tears through Premier League defenses like they're made of paper? This signing alone has transformed our attacking options from decent to absolutely world-class overnight. It's turned dreams into reality. But wait, there's more, so much more. Because this £27 million masterstroke is just the beginning of what promises to be the most incredible transfer window in recent memory. The first chapter of a story that will be told for generations. The question burning in every Forest fan's mind right now is beautifully simple. If we can pull off something this spectacular, if we can convince a player of this caliber to choose us over clubs with bigger names and fatter wallets, what other miracles are waiting just around the corner? But let's talk about what happened when the whistle blew for our Premier League opener. Because what unfolded at the City Ground on Sunday afternoon was nothing short of pure footballing poetry. A masterclass in how beautiful football should be played. Chris Wood, our Kiwi King, our goal machine, our absolute warrior, who's been through battles across multiple continents, stepped onto that pitch against Brentford and delivered a performance that had 30,000 Forest fans singing his name until their voices were hoarse and their throats were raw. 6 minutes. That's all it took. 360 seconds for Wood to announce to the Premier League that Nottingham Forest means business this season. The way he ghosted past Brentford's defense like they were traffic cones. The precision of his finish that found the bottom corner with surgical accuracy. The celebration that sent the Trent End into absolute delirium with grown men crying. Tears of joy. It was the perfect start to what would become a perfect afternoon of footballing bliss. Listen to what the man himself said after the match. And you can hear the confidence, the belief, the understanding that something special is happening. It's nice to get off the mark like that so early in the game. I think it settles everything down personally and as a team. But here's the beautiful thing about our Chris Wood, the thing that makes him special. He wasn't done. This wasn't some lucky deflection or scrappy goal that bounced off 3 defenders. This was a striker operating at the absolute peak of his powers. A man who knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew there was more to come. Then came that magical moment just before halftime when Elliot Anderson, remember that name because he's going to be absolutely special, this young magician who sees passes that don't exist, threaded the most exquisite pass through Brentford's defense with the precision of a master craftsman. Wood's movement was pure instinct, predatory intelligence, the kind of run that separates good strikers from great ones, separates the pretenders from the legends. The ball sat up perfectly in front of him like it was waiting for him. And bang, 2-0, game over, City Ground erupting like a volcano. 30,000 people losing their absolute minds. But here's what I love most about Wood's post-match interview. What shows you the character of this man? The humility, the team spirit, the understanding that this is just the beginning of something much bigger. The team performance was unbelievable today, and rightly so. Everybody in the squad deserves the plaudits for it. We have to continue it and keep it going. Edel, that's not just a striker talking, that's a leader. A man who understands the weight of the Forest shirt, the responsibility that comes with wearing the Garibaldi red. Think about the bigger picture here, the context that makes this even more incredible. Wood has just turned 33, an age when most strikers are thinking about retirement, but he's playing like a man 10 years younger, moving like he's discovered the fountain of youth. His partnership with Dan Ndoye was absolutely telepathic. Two players who'd barely trained together, creating magic like they've been playing together for years. His understanding with Morgan Gibbs White was sublime, pure footballing poetry, and his work rate was phenomenal, covering every blade of grass like his life depended on it. When you add Callum Wendo into this mix, when you imagine these two world-class strikers feeding off each other's movement, creating space for each other, combining in ways that will give defenders nightmares for months to come, it's absolutely mouthwatering. And here's the kicker that gives me goosebumps every time I think about it. Wood mentioned how the crowd never got nervy, how everyone was going in the same direction, how the connection between the stands and the pitch was electric, that unity of purpose, that connection between supporters and players. That's what makes Nottingham Forest special. That's what turns good teams into great teams and great teams into legends that live forever. Now, prepare yourselves for a revelation that's going to change everything you thought you knew about our midfield. A story that sounds too good to be true, but is absolutely 100% fact. We all know Ibrahim Sangare has had his critics over the past 18 months, don't we? Since arriving from PSV Eindhoven in the summer of 2023 with enormous expectations and a hefty price tag, there have been whispers in the stands, doubts on social media, questions about whether he truly belongs at Premier League level echoing through the corridors of the City ground. Injuries that seem to come at the worst possible moments, illness that kept him out of crucial matches, inconsistent performances that left supporters scratching their heads. It's been an absolute roller coaster ride for the Ivory Coast international, a journey filled with more valleys than peaks. But what happened on Sunday afternoon, what Ola Aina witnessed from the heart of our defense, what unfolded before 30,000 pairs of eyes has sent shockwaves through social media and beyond, creating waves that are still spreading across the footballing world. Picture this scene if you can. The final whistle blows. Forest have just demolished Brentford 3-1. The changing room is buzzing with celebration. Champagne is flowing, and Aina, our experienced Nigerian international who's played alongside some of the world's best players at Chelsea, Torino, and beyond, picks up his phone with hands, still trembling from adrenaline, and drops an absolute bombshell on social media. Are you ready for this comparison that's going to blow your mind? Ola Aina compared Sangare's performance to none other than Patrick Vieira in his absolute prime. Yes, you heard that correctly, Patrick Bloody Vieira. The Arsenal legend who dominated midfields for nearly a decade, the World Cup winner who captained France to glory, the man who made grown strikers think twice about running into the penalty area. Aina didn't just say Sangare played well. He didn't just give him a pat on the back. He said the Ivorian reminded him of one of the greatest defensive midfielders in football history. A player who redefined what it means to control the center of the pitch. Let me break down what Sangare actually did against Brentford, because the numbers tell an incredible story that will make you understand why Aina was so blown away. This man covered 10.6 kilometers during 90 minutes of football. That's more than most marathon runners manage in training. That's the kind of distance that shows you're everywhere on the pitch, covering every blade of grass like it's your personal responsibility. He made 5 crucial clearances, 5 moments where he prevented Brentford from creating dangerous situations. 5 times he read the game 3 moves ahead and snuffed out danger before it could develop. His pass accuracy was 83.7% under constant pressure, meaning he kept the ball moving, kept Forest ticking, never gave it away cheaply, even when surrounded by opponents. And here's the kicker that shows you his fitness levels are through the roof. He played the full 90 minutes without breaking a sweat, looking as fresh in the 90th minute as he did in the first. But it wasn't just the statistics that caught Aina's eye. It wasn't just the numbers on a spreadsheet that impressed our Nigerian defender. It was the way Sangare commanded the midfield like a general commanding his troops. The way he read the game 3 moves ahead like he had a crystal ball. The way he broke up Brentford's attacks before they could even develop into threatening situations. Keith Andrews, Brentford's manager, was literally scratching his head on the sideline, pacing back and forth like a caged tiger, trying to figure out how to combat Sangare's commanding physical presence. Think about the transformation we're witnessing here. The incredible journey this player has been on. This is a man who arrived with enormous expectations, struggled with fitness issues that would break lesser players, faced criticism from supporters who demanded better, who expected instant results. But champions aren't made in the sunshine. They're not created when everything is going perfectly. They're forged in the fire of adversity, shaped by criticism, strengthened by doubt. And what we saw on Sunday was a midfielder reborn, a player who's finally showing why Forest paid serious money to bring him from Holland. Why scouts watched him for months before making their recommendation. The beautiful irony that makes this story even more incredible. Just when some fans were questioning his place in the squad, just when rumors were swirling about potential departures, just when it seemed like his Forest career might be coming to an end, Sangare delivered a performance that silenced every single doubter and made believers or the skeptics. The comparison to Vieira isn't just praise. It's not just a throwaway comment from an excited teammate. It's a prophecy of what this man could become if he maintains this level of performance throughout the season. But let's talk about the mastermind behind this transformation, the tactical genius who orchestrated this symphony of football. Because what Nuno Espirito Santo achieved on Sunday afternoon was nothing short of a masterclass that will be studied in coaching academies for years to come. This wasn't just a good result. That gets you 3 points and moves you up the table. This wasn't just a solid start to the season that gives you confidence for the next match. This was a complete reinvention of how Nottingham Forest plays football. A tactical revolution that has sent ripples of excitement through every corner of the footballing world and announced our arrival as a force to be reckoned with. Remember the concerns that were floating around like dark clouds before the season started. Remember the doubts that were swirling through social media, the questions being asked by pundits who thought they knew better. Nuno himself admitted he was worried about the squad in interviews, expressing genuine concern about whether Forest had enough quality to compete on multiple fronts, whether the depth was there to handle Premier League football and European competition simultaneously. The pressure was mounting like a dam about to burst. The expectations were sky high from supporters who tasted success and wanted more. And everyone was watching to see if this Portuguese wizard could work his magic once again. Could pull another rabbit out of the hat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't just work magic. He didn't just meet expectations. He created a footballing masterpiece that will be remembered for decades. Listen to how Nuno described the performance with typical understated brilliance. Amazing start was crucial to their win over Brentford. But here's what he's not telling you in those simple words. What's hidden beneath that calm Portuguese exterior, the tactical revolution that unfolded during those first 45 minutes, will be analyzed by football academics, dissected by tactical experts, and celebrated by Forest fans until the end of time. Gone were the cautious, counter-attacking displays that we became accustomed to last season, the sitting deep and hitting teams on the break that kept us in games but didn't always excite the supporters. This was Forest playing with confidence that oozed from every pore, with swagger that made opposition players doubt themselves, with the kind of attacking intent that had the Trent end on their feet from the first minute to the last, singing songs that echoed around the city ground like a cathedral choir. 3 goals before halftime, each one a testament to Nuno's tactical intelligence and his players' complete trust in his system. Each goal a work of art that combined individual brilliance with collective understanding. But here's the beautiful thing about Nuno's approach that shows you why he's considered one of the best managers in the world. It wasn't just about that explosive first half that left Brentford shell-shocked. The way Forest controlled the second half, the way they managed the game without ever looking in danger, the way they suffocated Brentford's attempts to mount a comeback like a python slowly squeezing its prey. That's the mark of a truly elite coaching performance. Think about the complexity of what Nuno achieved. The chess match he was playing in his head while making it look effortless on the sideline. He had to integrate new signings like Dan and Ndoye seamlessly into the system. had to find the perfect balance between attacking ambition and defensive stability, had to manage player confidence while maintaining tactical discipline, had to keep everyone focused while dealing with transfer speculation. And he made it look as easy as breathing, as natural as walking, as simple as having a conversation with an old friend. The most impressive aspect that had me jumping out of my seat: the way every single player seemed to understand their role perfectly, like they've been playing this system for years rather than weeks. Wood knew exactly when to make his runs, timing them to perfection. Gibbs White found the perfect moments to release his passes, like a quarterback finding the open receiver. Anderson timed his through balls with the precision of a Swiss clockmaker, and Sangare anchored everything with his newfound authority, like a captain steering his ship through stormy seas. And now, let me paint you the final piece of this incredible puzzle, the perfect ending to a perfect story. Because what happened to Brentford on Sunday tells a tale that goes far beyond just 3 points and goal difference, far beyond the simple mathematics of football. Keith Andrews standing in that dugout like a man watching his house burn down, watching his carefully laid plans crumble before his eyes like a sandcastle being washed away by the tide, represents everything that Nottingham Forest has risen above, everything that separates the dreamers from the achievers, the pretenders from the real deal. Listen to the desperation in Andrews' voice when asked about Johan Wissa. Listen to the uncertainty that drips from every word. I have no idea what the situation will be like. I've been here since yesterday, so we'll deal with it during the week. I hope it gets resolved as soon as possible. Can you hear it? The uncertainty that eats away at confidence, the lack of control that destroys team spirit, the feeling of a club that's lost its way while others surge ahead like ships in the night. Here's a manager who can't even keep his best players focused on the task at hand, who's dealing with transfer speculation when he should be preparing tactical plans. Wissa, their star striker, the man who was supposed to lead their attack against us, the player they were counting on to cause us problems, couldn't even get his head right for the biggest match of their season so far. While Forest were welcoming world-class talent with open arms, while we were announcing signings that sent shockwaves through the football world, Brentford were dealing with players who wanted to be anywhere but the city ground, anywhere but wearing their shirt. But this is about so much more than just Brentford's struggles, so much deeper than one club's problems. This is about the complete transformation of Nottingham Forest's standing in English football, at a seismic shift that has occurred at the city ground. Remember when we were the ones worrying about keeping our best players? Remember when bigger clubs would circle like vultures whenever one of our stars had a good season? Remember the sleepless nights wondering if our heroes would still be here come September? Those days are gone, buried in the past where they belong. Now we're the ones making the ambitious signings that get people talking. We're the ones that players dream of joining. We're the ones with the clear vision, the strong leadership, the unwavering commitment to excellence that attracts talent from across Europe. While other clubs are scrambling to hold on to their assets like misers counting coins, Forest are building something magnificent, something that will last for generations, something that makes Brian Clough's spirit smile down from football heaven. Think about the contrast that paints the perfect picture. Andrews admitting he has no idea about his key player's future, while Evangelos Marinakis is orchestrating transfer deals worth over £100 million with the confidence of a master conductor leading a world-class orchestra. One club drifting without direction like a ship without a compass, the other charging toward European glory with purpose and determination that inspires everyone who witnesses it. The beautiful irony that makes this story even sweeter is that Brentford's collapse on Sunday was the perfect backdrop for Forest's renaissance, the ideal stage for our triumphant return to the big time. Every goal we scored felt like destiny. Every tactical masterclass from Nuno felt like poetry. Every individual brilliance from our players was magnified by their inability to respond, their helplessness in the face of our superiority. It wasn't just a victory, it was a statement that echoed across the Premier League and beyond. Nottingham Forest are back where they belong, back among the elite, back where Brian Clough always believed we should be. And here's the emotional truth that brings tears to my eyes every time I think about it. The reason why this means so much more than football. This isn't just about tactics and formations and transfer fees anymore. This is about restoring pride to a community that has waited decades for moments like this. About proving that dreams can become reality if you believe hard enough and work long enough. About showing the world that the spirit of Brian Clough still lives and breathes in every corner of the city ground, in every heart that beats red. So as we look ahead to this incredible season that stretches before us like an adventure waiting to unfold, as we prepare for European nights under the floodlights that will echo with songs of glory, as we watch world-class players arriving to join our revolution and make history with us, remember this moment forever. Remember the day when everything changed. When doubt turned to belief like night turned into day. When potential became reality. When dreams stopped being dreams and started being destiny. The Tricky Trees aren't just back. We're not just returning to where we used to be. We're better than ever before, stronger than we've ever been, more ambitious than we ever dared to dream. And this, my beautiful, loyal, incredible Forest family, this is only the beginning of a story that will be told for generations, the first chapter of a book that will make our grandchildren proud to wear the red. Until next time, keep bleeding red like it's the most precious thing in the world. Keep believing in magic because it's real and it lives at the city ground. And never ever forget that we are Nottingham Forest and we are absolutely magnificently bloody brilliant. Come on, you Reds!